morning. So we'll be taking today vectors concept. So under vectors, we are going to study these are the topics: introduction to scalars and vectors, tensor, types of vectors, resolution of vectors. Under that, problems and addition of vectors. Three types of addition of vectors: triangle of vector addition, parallel law of vector addition, and polygon law of vector addition. So let's start one by one. So when it comes to vectors, it is actually in mathematics we consider it as a separate branch. So like we have algebra and trigonometry, calculus, coordinate geometry. So likewise, vector is also one such a tool. It's a mathematical tool to understand physics. So most of the physical quantities that we come across in physics are all related to vectors. So the knowledge of vector is most essential for us. So what do you mean by vectors? To understand vectors, so let's take an example. I am going to say some place which is 2 kilometers from my home. This is 2 kilometers distance, and I have a body here, and to this body I am applying a force of F 10 Newton. So consider these two examples. In these two examples, what has happened? 2 kilometers is length. Or one more example, let's assume a mass of this pen. Let's assume it is to be 200 gram. Okay, let me write the G, 200 gram. So then in this case, and compare these two examples. What happens here is a 2 kilometer and here is 200 gram, and charge of a body, charge on a body, that's considered as 20 coulomb. Here I wrote some physical quantities: kilometer, that is length; gram, that is mass; coulomb, that is charge, unit of these quantities, and here a force. Okay. So what you notice in these two cases is, here all these physical quantities have magnitude, that is magnitude is 20, here 200, here 2. So but these particular physical quantities, that is charge, mass and length, that is distance, do not need a specific direction. Okay, if we say 200 gram, this particular pen has 200 gram in east direction, west direction, that doesn't mean, it is not a proper meaning. So, and coulomb, charge also doesn't have a particular direction. That means these particular physical quantities wherein only magnitude is accounted, such physical quantities we call it as scalars. And where here, if you consider this 10 Newton, suppose the direction in which the force is acting is changed, means it can be here, it can be here, it can be here. So in which particular direction that the force is acting, we need to specify a direction as well. So this particular force is having a magnitude also plus direction, and such quantities, such physical quantities which are having magnitude and direction, we call them as vectors. So this is the broad classification. So vector has only magnitude, and scalar has only magnitude, vector has magnitude as well as direction. Okay. Now we understood. So some of the examples of this is charge, mass, time, distance. These are also some examples of scalars. Vectors, that is force, velocity, acceleration, torque, momentum. All these physical quantities, what they have magnitude as well as direction. These are having only what magnitude. Okay, we understood. Now there is one more such physical quantity which is neither scalar nor vector, that is, which seems to be having direction but it do not have direction. Such physical quantities we consider among one more branch, that is called as tensor. Tensor is which it do not have direction, but its value at particular different locations or different directions, it will be different. For example, if we consider refractive index of some anisotropic materials, And anisotropic materials, let's consider, let's say some material of this, let's consider it is of this nature. Maybe here refract index will be different, here the refract index will be different, here it will be different. At particular location to location, what happens? The value of Ri will be changing. But in a whole, if you consider refract index, do not have a per direction as such. Okay, so the such kind of physical quantities we consider them as tensors. And another example for it is moment of inertia. Suppose if you take a rod, if you rotate this rod here in this direction, if you rotate in this direction, its value will be different. If you rotate it like this, its value will be different. If you rotate it like this, what happens? The value will be different. But depending upon the direction, the value of moment of inertia will change. But in particular, it does not have any direction. Such physical quantities we consider them as under which topic? That is tensors. So scalars, vectors and tensors are the three different topics. But tensor is not of our level. It will in higher classes we will study in depth about this. And if you notice, there are some exceptions for scalars and vectors. If you consider current is like say here current is passing, let's assume this is 2 ampere of current is passing in a wire, and here one more wire is coming, and in this particular wire 3 ampere amount of current is passing. At this particular point, here is a junction, from there one more wire is passing, there the amount of current is how much it is? 5 ampere. Now if you see the way in which if you keep change the direction of the wire, what happens? The direction will change. But if direction changes, means it has to be vector quantity, right? But still, why don't you consider this current to be as a why don't we consider it as a vector, and why we consider it as scalar is it do not obey a particular thing, that is nothing but vector addition. It do not obey, it obey only scalar addition, that is 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. So that is why we consider it as a scalar quantity. Now, having understood this, we will move on to the next concept. Okay, representation of vector. A representation of vector is simply like this. We represent it with an arrow. Here, what is this? Suppose if there would not have been this one, okay? This particular thing we call it length. If this length is more, then what does it signify? It signifies magnitude. So this one signifies what? Magnitude. And this arrow symbol signifies what? It signifies direction. Okay? This signifies magnitude, this signifies direction. If it is only this much, means what is the meaning? Both are in the same direction, but compared to this magnitude is less. And what is the meaning of this one? Compared to this, magnitude is smaller, but opposite direction. And if you compare this, there is one more line and this one. Okay? And what is the meaning of this one? Both vectors are same in magnitude, but opposite in direction. Okay? This is the meaning. And this part we call it as tail, and this part we call it as head. Okay? This is the representation. And representation means any vectors. Let's say if you have a vector, a over that we write this symbol, a vector. Okay? And if it have been components, as I said, unit vectors, a vector means a vector is magnitude along x multiplied by unit vector, that is xi cap, and magnitude along y multiplied by j cap. Magnitude of that along a unit vector along that particular direction. This is the representation of a vector. A vector is equal to xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. Right? Okay. Types of vectors. There are different types of vectors. So let me write them. Number 1, unit vector. Number 2, parallel vector. 3, anti-parallel vector. 4, equal vector. 5th one, null vector. Sixth one, collinear vector. Coplanar vector. Co-initial vector. Nine, coterminal vector. Then free vector. Let's print it afterwards. Axial vector, polar vector, free vector, fixed vector, then in that position vector, next displacement vector. So these are the different types of vectors we have. Okay, let's see one by one. Unit vector. What do you mean by unit vector? Unit vector means, see, the very word itself is unit means one, single. So vector whose magnitude is 1 is called as unit vector. Okay, and representation, obviously it has direction, vector is having both magnitude and direction. So along x-axis we denote unit vector as I cap, along y-axis we denote it as j cap, along z-axis we denote it as k cap. So unit vector has unit magnitude along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, and majorly it is used to denote any particular vector by how much factor, by how much quantity that is there. Like suppose if you have 5 units, so 5 units means 5 is a scalar multiplied by unit vector. So 5 into 1, 5 vectors. So 5 unit times that. So to represent any particular bigger units, we take it as a unit. It's a primitive one. Then a parallel vector. Parallel vector means these are the vectors which are parallel in direction, okay, and lying on a plane. Simple. Then anti-parallel vector. Anti-parallel vector means they are opposite direction. Say that is here in one direction it is moving opposite to this. So these are parallel in nature, but I mean seems to be parallel, but what is direction? The direction is opposite. And equal vector. So equal vector means it is a parallel vector only, but the magnitude has to be same. This vector and this vector. See, the length of these two is same and direction is also same. Such vectors are called as equal vectors. Null vector. So here in unit vector what happens? Unit vector, there is a magnitude, how much is there? 1 unit of magnitude is there. So, right? But in null vector, the magnitude is 0. So vectors in which magnitude is 0 are called as null vectors. Then collinear vector. Collinear means these all lie on the same plane. So that means here also it lies on the same plane. This also lie on the same plane. This also lie on the same plane. Right? So the vectors which lie on same plane, vectors which lie on a plane are called as collinear vectors. Okay, we can consider them, these vectors, parallel vectors, as collinear vectors. And obviously coplanar vectors, so their plane is same only. Okay, so nothing but here this plane, that is even one vector, let's say this is in a direction, other vector in this direction, maybe this one vector in that direction. It need not to be. So collinear vectors are nothing but a line of plane, or simply another name for a parallel vector is also we call it as what, that is collinear vector. Now how different collinear vector from coplanar vector is? It did not be a parallel. It can be of any direction. But all those vectors should lie on a plane. This is the board. On that it should lie. Such vectors, if they are lying on a plane, then they are called as coplanar vectors. So let's say all these vectors are lying on the same plane. Let's consider one more is there, which is out of this particular board. Then can we call it as a coplanar? No. All these three are planar, but they are not in a plane. So that is nothing but coplanar vectors. Then next, co-initial vectors. These vectors, initial point is same only. Okay. What is that? Let's say this one vector. Another one is here. Another vector is like this. All three, let's say this A vector, this B vector, and it is C vector. All these three vectors lie on the plane only, but their initial point everywhere is starting from the point. Let's consider it as O. Such vectors are called as co-initial vectors. Next, coming to ninth. Co-initial. The next one is co-terminal vector. Co-terminal vector means word itself is same. Terminal point is same. Maybe one vector is coming from this direction, another coming from this direction, another coming from this direction. But all the three directions ending point is same only. So such vectors are called as co-terminal vector. Next is initial, terminal over. Then axial vector. Axial vector. Axial vector means, see, these are the vectors confined to a rotation about a particular axis. That means what? See, here is a circle. Okay, this is the point. From this point to this, if we draw it, one vector. Okay, it is fixed at this particular point only. This vector is fixed at this particular point only. If at all, if it is moving, means it is moving about this axis only. It may be here, it may come here, it may come here, it may come here, it may come here. So it will be moving, it will be rotating about which particular axis? About this particular O. So that means what? How do you write it? It is confined to, it is confined to a particular axis. Confined to a particular axis, and it is moving like this, right? So examples for this is your angular acceleration, then angular velocity. These are all the vectors which are confined to particular axis. Their motion is confined to particular axis. This is axial vector. Then opposite of this one, that is, they are not confined to an axis, which can be free to move. That is opposite. This is we call it as polar vectors. So polar vector, most of the vectors that we see in physics are 95% are polar vectors. Examples. What is polar vector? It is free to move in a direction, free to move in a space, free to move in space. Such vectors are called as polar vectors. It can be of in any direction. Right? There is no constraint for such vectors. That is polar vectors. Next one is free vector. Okay, free vector means it is free. Okay, free to move. Suppose if we draw a vector like this, means we can take it somewhere here also, any particular direction we can move it. So the very word it will say same, almost of the same only. Free vector means which is free to, these vectors are free to move, okay, or to move or to rotate, we can say like this. Examples of free vectors are nothing but force, acceleration, all these things. Most of the vectors are all free vectors. Exact opposite of this free vector is nothing but fixed vector. Okay, what is fixed vector? It is fixed to a particular location, point. We cannot move, we cannot take it from one point to another point. Okay, such vectors are called as fixed vectors. Let's write fixed vector here. Fixed vector. I forgot, maybe it's at 11. Okay, see, it is x-axis and it is y-axis. Let me mark a point. Let's say it is 4, 3. This is the point. Let me denote it with letter P, and it is origin. Now, to locate the position of this point, we have to join this with point O. Okay, and if you put an arrow, this is a vector, right? What type of vector it is? This is a position vector, which is denoting the position of the particle or point. So under fixed vector, one more point is coming. There is nothing but the position vector. So what we call it as? It is a position vector. What is position vector? Position vector means which signifies, which tells the position of a particular point. Okay. So here, if this position is fixed, this position we cannot take here. If we cannot take here, that movement of the vector we can't do it here. That is why it is completely fixed. It is not localized. Sorry, it is localized. It cannot be moved. Such vectors are called as fixed vector. Okay. Next, and other one is displacement vector. What is a displacement vector? In displacement vector, the word itself says displacement of a body or a particle. Let's assume in the same example above here. Let's take here. I am writing this one here. Let's consider this one point P. Okay, here point Q. So the position of the particle earlier was at point P. How do we represent the position of the particle? Let me join it with here. This is the position of the particle. Let us write it as R1 vector, which represents the position. After some point of time, what happens? The particle moves from here to here. The new position of the vector is, the new position of the particle is R2 vector. Okay. So it has moved from point P to point Q. Now it has got displaced. It has got displaced. So to express this particular displacement, we write or we join these 2 points like this. Right? This particular length we call it as delta R, or simply R vector. Delta R vector or R vector. So delta R vector and R vector both are same only. So how do we write this R vector or delta R vector is equal to the difference in these two vectors, that is R2 vector minus R1 vector. R2 vector, or from here to here it has moved. That means what you write? R1 vector minus R2 vector. So this is the resultant of these two vectors. Okay. So that is nothing but your displacement vector. So to how much length it has got displaced, that we represent it like this. So these are all the different types of vectors we understood. Now moving further, that is resolution of vector. Next topic is what? Resolution of vector. Now what do you mean by resolution of vector? See here, say let us take an example here. We understood all the types of vectors now. What is unit vector to displacement vector. Let me mark this point as again same as I said. Let me write it here, 4, 3. Right? Now let us say this point is right point P. This is the position on a x y axis. Now with which vector we represent the position? Through position vector. Okay, so this is the position vector through which we represent it like this. Okay, let us call this the origin as O, point O. Now OP is making an angle, let's say it is 37 degree. It is making an angle of 37 degree. So now resolution of vector means what? Resolution of vector means it is nothing but it is splitting of vector into vectors into 2 or 3 components. So splitting of vectors into 2 or 3 components is nothing but resolution of vector. If it is a xy plane means into 2 components, xyz components means into 3 components we will split it. Let's consider here in xy plane I marked a 4, 3 point. Now it is making an angle of 37 degree. If you see how much angle this particular vector is making here along x-axis is, see anyway we know it. This is 4, 3, so this has to be 4 units. Along y-axis how much it is making? It is making 3 units. Now what is the value of this particular vector? Let me write it as a vector. Simply magnitude I want to calculate. What is the magnitude? It is making a right angle triangle, right? It is O, it is P, let's consider it is D. OPD is what kind of triangle? It is right angle triangle. So value of this length is, this is 3 means it has to be 3. This and it is 4 only. So use the Pythagoras theorem. 3 square plus 4 square, 25, under root 25 is equal to how much? 5. So 5 unit is there. Okay. So this is the thing. Now how do we resolve this thing is, now if I want to find out this 4 means, so for let me read, how do we represent in an equation form, that is a vector is equal to 4 along x-axis means in unit vector I said unit vector along x-axis is taken as I cap 4 I cap plus unit vector along y-axis we have taken it as 3 and what is the symbol we represent it is j cap. 3 I cap plus 4 j cap, sorry 4 I cap plus 3 j cap. This how we represented. A vector is equal to 4 I cap plus 3 j cap. Now a vector is equal to 4. Now 4 is nothing but your x component. Shall I write it generally like this? X I cap plus 3 in this instead of 3 what I will write? It is y into j cap. X I cap plus y j cap. Now what is x? What is y? X. Now I want to find out. I should get a value of 4. What should be this thing? I will write x or nothing but 4 is x is nothing. 4 is nothing but simply write it like this. 4 is nothing but it is a component of 4 is component of a vector along x axis and 3 is nothing but it is the component of a vector along y axis. Component of a vector along y axis. Now if you see, we want to get 4 value. So what is 4 value? So that is x. X is nothing but if we take cos of this particular angle, that is that a cos theta, will you get x? See, a put it, a means what? How much? 5. A is 5 only. Cos theta, what is theta? 37. So cos 37. What is cos 37? So cos 37 is, this is 3, 4, 7, 4 by 5. So it is nothing but how much? 4 by 5. So that is cos 37 is equal to how much? 5 into 4 by 5. So 5 I cancel, what will give to? X is equal to 4. Right? So that means what x has to be equal to? X has to be equal to a cos theta. So that means for component 4 what we wrote? It is a cos theta. This is the component. This is how we split. This is the split part along x axis. And similarly 3. What is the split part of 3 along this thing? Directly write it is a sin theta. Now how we got, I will tell you. Now I should get 3 answer. So what is the value? 3, that is y component, right? So y is equal to a. I want this value. So take the sine of this particular angle. So y is equal to a sin theta. Let's check it. So I should get y has to be 3, right? I should get an answer. Here it is 4 only. I should get answer as 3. So what is a value? A is 5. Sin theta. What is sin theta? Sin 37. So what is sin 37? 5 into sin 37 is how much? 37 is sin 37. P by h. That is 3 by 5. So sin 37 is nothing but 3 by 5. So 3 by 5. This is 3 and it is 5. So 3 divided by 5. The 5 by cancel. So I got 3. So how do we write it? It's nothing but here is sin theta. So the component of a axis along y axis a cos theta, along y axis is sin theta. So in general, how do we write any vector is a vector is equal to, this is how we write it, x cos theta I cap plus x sin theta j cap. So this is the resolution of two vectors. Okay. Now, so let's take some examples on this. Listen, here I have a vector. Let me write it is 10. Unit is 10, x-axis, y-axis is origin, and it is making an angle of let me write it as 45 degree. Question is, resolve this vector. Resolve this vector. How will you resolve this thing? Answer. So let's call this 10 as a vector. Okay, alright. So a vector, what is the component of a vector along x-axis? Here, what is this component? I said it is x. What is the component along this axis? That is y. So what is x? X is nothing but a cos theta. Then what is component along y? Y is nothing but a sin theta. So if you have to write it this along resolution means, so a vector is equal to, finally let me write it afterwards. So x is how much? A is how much? They are given already 10. Cos theta, cos 45 how much? 1 by root 2 into. So y, what a is how much? 10. So sin 45. So sin 45 is how much? 1 by root 2. So 10 by root 2 along x-axis, 10 by root 2 along y-axis. So the total vector a vector is equal to 10 by root 2 I cap plus 10 by root 2 j cap. This is the vector. So a vector is equal to 10 by root 2 I cap plus 10 by root 2 j cap. This is the resolved part of this particular vector. So that is nothing but a, what is a vector is equal to how much? Here is 10. 10 is equal to 10 by root 2 I cap plus 10 by root 2 j cap. Okay, that will represent the a vector like this. Similarly, one more example. It is the value of this is 20 and it is making 30 degree here. Okay, second question. Now same, resolve this vector. Resolve this vector. So how do we resolve this? Okay, first it is making 30 degree. What is the component along this one? You have to check it. So let us draw here like this. This is make x-axis, right, and it is y. It is x and it is y. Now this 30 degrees making it is perpendicular to this one. How do you write it? A vector, let's call this as 20 as a vector is equal to, here in the previous case the angle was making towards x-axis, but it is making now, we should consider where exactly it is angle is made it is made to the which axis. So it is made, now it is making an angle 30 degree with respect to y-axis. So here our component will be different, that is a vector is equal to, this is y vector, y component where it is, y is nothing but a cos theta here. Okay, and here in this case x component will be our a sin theta. Over there it was different, that was x axis how much it is making and y axis how much it is making, so that is different, and here it is different. So y is equal to a cos theta and here it is a sin theta. Clear, I think. So here what is a value? 20. Okay, so y is equal to 20 cos theta, cos 30, 1 by 2, so it is equal to 10. What the two terms are. And x is equal to a 20 cos cos 30, I wrote down root 3 by 2, sorry, has to be root 3 by 2, 10 root 3, it is 10 root 3, and here in x axis it has to be 20 into sin 30, sin 30 is how much? 1 by 2, so it has to be 10. Okay. Now the thing is that in the previous case it was in the first quadrant, x also positive, y also positive. Now what matters is the direction here. In which particular quadrant it is the second quadrant. So x component has to be negative and y component has to be positive. So the value is, it should be minus comma plus, right? So a vector turns out to be like this. So a vector is equal to 10 root 3 is there now. This 10 root 3 is in which direction? It is in negative direction. So 10 root 3 minus into I cap plus 10 j cap. So this is the resolved part of this particular. Similarly, one more example. Okay. So thing one you need to remember is, in whichever the particular angle is there, you resolve it into this component. So in which particular you are take this, that as a cos theta component. Okay. It will be clear when I give you one more example. Okay. So 10 45. Okay. Right. Let's take this one. Resolve this into two component. 10 making 45 degree. I think I gave this example. Let me still again. 10 45 means what is this? Is x component, is y component. A vector is equal to, so x component means cos theta, right? So x is nothing but a cos theta. 10 cos theta. 10 cos 45. So y component is what? 10 sin 45, right? So that is a vector is equal to x I cap plus y j cap, right? What is x? 10 cos 45 plus I cap and 10 sin 45 j cap. So 10 cos 45 is how much? 1 by root 2 and sin 45 is equal to how much? 1 by root 2. So 10 by root 2 I cap, 10 by root 2 j cap. This is a vector. 10 by root 2 I cap plus 10 by root 2 j cap. This is how we resolve. This is also positive, this is also positive, so no change in the sign. Clear? Right. One more example. Third one. Here it is 20 making an angle 30 degree like this. So resolve this into vector. Same. So a vector is equal to first it is making here. First what is y component and it is x component. So what is y component? Y component is equal to a cos theta here. What is x component here? A sin theta. Okay. So what is a? 20. What is theta? 30 degree. So a vector is equal to, let me write here. A vector is equal to a is 20 cos 30 and okay. First let me write y. Y is equal to a cos 30. Now what is the direction of y sign? If you consider it is in the third quadrant, so direction should be, this sign should be negative. So minus 20 cos 30, that is root 3 by 2. Okay. So 2 on the 2 tens are, so that is minus 10 root 3. Okay. That is y component. Y component means it should be j cap, and x component. What is x component? It is a sin 30, a sin theta. 20 sin 30. That is 20 sin 30 is 1 by 2. Tens are 10. So sin is what? It is in the negative direction. It is minus. X is equal to minus 2 value. So minus 10 I cap. If I write it together, so a vector is equal to minus 10 I cap minus 10 root 3 j cap. This is how we resolve it into vector. Clear? Okay. Similarly, one more example. see here, fourth one. Okay, x-axis, y-axis. Okay, here the vector is in the direction of. Okay, and let me take the value to be 10 meter per second. 10 meter per second is the value here. Okay, the question is same, resolve this into two vectors. Now it is neither in this midpoint, but it is exactly on the line. So that means how much this particular vector is making with respect to y-axis. It is making an angle theta is equal to 0 degree. Okay. Now if you resolve this thing, what is the component along y-axis? Y-axis is equal to how much? Let's consider it as a vector. A is the magnitude 10 meter per second only. A is equal to 10. Y is equal to 10 a cos 0. Okay. And here what is the x component? A sin 0. Okay. So let us write it. So what is a vector is equal to? A vector is equal to 10, that is a cos 0 plus a sin 0. Okay. So a cos 0, what is a 10? Cos 0 is how much? 1 plus a is how much? 10. What is sin 0? Sin 0 is 0. So 10 plus 0. So but now if you see, it is in third quadrant, it is in the negative direction. So this component has to be minus. So it should be minus 2. So a vector is equal to minus 10. Symbolic this thing, y j cap. It is j cap. So a vector is equal to minus 10 j cap. This is how we resolve it into component. Okay. So similarly, if you can do it. I will give you some homework. So this is the example. Let's take it is 50 units and it is 37 degree. 50 units and it is making 37 degree. And number 1. Then second one, similarly, it is 10 units making 60 degree. It is making 10 units making 60 degree, right? Okay. Then 37 degree, 20 same. It's making 37 degree, 10 units. These are some examples. So you just try it out and you will get the values. Okay. Next, moving to another concept. Listen, here let's take the same point. It is 4, 3. Okay, this is the point P, x-axis, and it is y-axis. Okay, let me join this with the position. Let me join this here. Okay, let's consider here. Okay, now it is making, let's say, angle alpha. It's making angle alpha, and let us call this angle as beta. Okay, now this is a vector. Now how do we resolve this a vector? You know everything, just we have done several examples on this. A vector is equal to, shall I write like this? Component along this is alpha, it is making, means it is a cos alpha, and how much angle it is making here? It is a sin alpha, right? It is a cos alpha here, a sin alpha here. Okay, so a vector is equal to a cos alpha I cap plus a sin alpha j cap. Okay, right. Now a cos alpha I cap, same only. A sin alpha is there. Instead of alpha, now this is 90 degree. Okay, this is alpha. Now how will I write alpha? Shall I write alpha as 90 minus beta? Alpha as 90 minus beta, is it correct? Yes. So sin alpha as 90 minus beta. Alpha as 90 minus beta into j cap is equal to a cos alpha I cap plus sin 90 minus theta is nothing but your cos theta. But theta, what is this here, is beta. So cos beta j cap. Now what you notice in this case is a vector is nothing but a cos alpha I cap plus a cos beta into j cap. Alpha is the angle made by this vector along x-axis. Beta is the angle made by this vector along y-axis. If I have one more vector, one more axis, let's consider it is z-axis here. Okay, and to this z-axis it is making an angle gamma. Means how do I write this thing? It is for what? It is for two axes. A vector is equal to a cos alpha cap plus a cos beta into j cap. If it would have been three axes, the value will be a vector is equal to a cos alpha I cap plus a cos beta j cap plus a cos gamma k cap. So this is how we represent it like this. Okay.